Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, this is Ray Lopez, Keller Williams here in Orlando, Florida. We're going to be talking about the market in January 2023. And here, what I would tell you about that. You can look at it different ways, but the market is the market. So here we go. First and foremost, just want to talk a little bit about the pure numbers, and then we'll talk about how that all relates to what's going on in the world. But here in beautiful Orlando today, it's 80 degrees, sunny, and it's a great place to live. So here we go. Transaction count for the month of January was only 1,674 transactions for the whole month. Guys, we haven't seen a number that low in a month of January since 2009. And if you think about it, a lot of people go, well, Ray, why did the market slow down that much? Well, the reality is, here, at least here in Orlando, there are four factors that I tie that to. First and foremost, we had a midterm election. That is never good for numbers. Two, we happen to have two hurricanes at the end of the year. Okay, that again doesn't really help home sales. Three, we look at interest rates last year doubled from 3% to over 6%. Okay, and fourth, we have what we have every year, the beautiful holiday season. So those four things created the perfect storm of the slowest fourth quarter we've seen in a long, long time, probably 10 years. Okay. The good thing is, as we look at January, we look at the pending numbers in January that are going to close in February and March. And now we're talking getting back to normal, which is fantastic, guys. We're at about 3,500 home pending contracts, which will lead to a pretty solid February number. Inventory is still very low at 6,100 homes, 6,115 homes. So if you think about what normal is, 10,000 homes, and you think about what we have on the market right now to sell is 6,100 homes, sellers still have a lot of power in the market because our inventory is down, okay? And it's been holding around that number for the last 3 months. And that's why the market hasn't really got wonky. It hasn't become a buyer or a seller's market. It's kind of a balanced market right now, even though we don't have a lot of transactions for January, okay? So let's talk a little bit about when somebody talks to me. A lot of times when I speak to folks, they will say, well, Ray, things seem a little slower. Things aren't selling like they used to sell. Well, one of the biggest indicators of what's going on in the market is active days on market. A year ago, they were at 30. And to be honest with you, a year ago, it was hours. So now we're at 57. So our active days on market has doubled year over year. But again, going back to normal, a normal days on market's about 90. So at 57 days on the market, that's actually a pretty good days on the market if you look at what a normal market brings. So this is what I would tell you in total. Interest rates are hovering a little over 6%, which is historically about right. We can kind of throw away the 2020 and 2021 numbers as far as low inventory, a lot of sales. It was an anomaly for the most part because of what happened with the COVID transformation of the real estate market. As we get back to a normal market, we're going to get back to around 2,000 sales in January. We were a little light this year because of the last quarter. And what's nice is come around the first week of January, the phone started ringing again. People are now saying, hey, interest rates are no longer 7%, they're only 6%. Guys, that's telling you that we're going to have a pretty darn good market this year. I wouldn't say it's going to be stellar like a 2020 or 2021, but we're going to have a nice, solid real estate market. And if you remember, there's a couple things that we have going for us here in Florida. We were the number one most moved to and people migrated state in the whole nation. We grew the most by count of people. And also our rents only went up 4% year over year. There were markets that went way over double digit. I think a couple of the markets went 20% year over year. Our rental market only went up 4%. And that's still a lot for a lot of renters. And our foreclosure numbers in Florida, even though they're a little higher than they were last year, they're still pretty low because the foreclosures never make it to actually getting foreclosed on. Because a lot of people out there in the world, they might not be able to pay their mortgage, but they have equity in their house. And if they consult a realtor, they'll realize that if they can close out their house and sell it themselves before the bank takes it back, then they can actually capture that equity to the next stage of their lives. So hopefully this helps. But first, before we sayonara, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, and I would love to hear your thoughts on what we talked about today. So if you could put in the chat box some of the things that we can speak about, I'd love to address that next month. So again, my name is Ray Lopez here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. If you're thinking about making a move, call Ray Lopez. Have a wonderful day.